He dreamed of living forever, but the elixir he swallowed was deadly poison. The man who built the Great Wall, who united a nation, died chasing immortality. This is the true story of the emperor who died for eternal life.
Hey there, this is Emma Kong. That year, the most powerful man in the world suddenly died. No enemy, no assassin, no war. He died while touring his empire on an imperial inspection. A journey meant to show his power, but it became his final one. The death was so strange, so sudden, that even his closest guards were too afraid to speak. Legend says, after swallowing a pill said to grant eternal life, his body began to convulse. Foam spilled from his mouth, and moments later, he was gone. Who was he? He was Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China, the man who crushed 6 mighty kingdoms, built the Great Wall stretching over 20,000 kilometers, and created China's first empire. But his life was consumed by one obsession: to never die. He wanted to become the man who defied death itself. Ironically, that very dream became the cause of his death. At 13, Qin Shi Huang became the king of Qin. At 39, he crowned himself the first emperor of China, ruler of all under heaven. His enemies trembled before his armies. Yet in the mirror, he saw something far more terrifying: himself growing older. An emperor's power could make nations bow, but it could not stop time. He feared death more than he feared rebels, assassins, or even the gods themselves. He believed that if he could master the secret of eternal life, his empire would last forever. So he gathered the most famous alchemists in the land. He gave them gold, status, and his endless trust, as long as they could craft a single pill that would make him live forever. Inside his palace, he built secret chambers, rooms filled with smoke, fire, and the scent of rare minerals melting in bronze cauldrons. There, his alchemists worked day and night, trying to craft the ultimate pill of immortality. Qin Shi Huang believed that once the pill was made, he could escape the grasp of death forever. But what he didn't know was that the pill waiting for him wasn't a gift of eternal life. It was a dose of deadly poison. After years of tireless work, the emperor's most trusted alchemists finally brought him results. They presented a pill, bright red, gleaming like gold. With excitement in their voices, they said, "Your Majesty, this elixir was forged from cinnabar. Take it, and your life will be extended for 1,000 years." Qin Shi Huang was overjoyed. He believed immortality was finally within his grasp. But neither he nor the alchemists knew the truth. The key ingredient in cinnabar was mercury, a deadly poison. After swallowing the first pill, Qin Shi Huang felt an incredible surge of energy. His mind was sharp, his vision clear. Even the headaches that haunted him for years seemed to vanish overnight. He believed it was a sign, proof that immortality was finally taking hold. But a month later, something began to change. His hands started to tremble. His speech became slurred. His tempo uncontrollable. Some nights he couldn't sleep at all. Other nights he couldn't wake up. The doctors were confused. The alchemists were terrified. And yet they told him, "Your Majesty, this is a good sign. The elixir is transforming your body. Take more, and the process will finish sooner." So he did. He began to take double doses of the so-called immortality pills every single day. Whispers began to spread through the palace. Some said that servants had collapsed and died while cleaning the emperor's alchemy furnaces. Others claimed that alchemists themselves coughed up blood for days after breathing in the toxic smoke. But every record of these accidents, every trace of truth, was burned by Qin Shi Huang's order. He believed these were not signs of danger, but proof that ordinary humans simply couldn't withstand the power of the immortality elixir. He, however, was no ordinary man. He was destined, he thought, to transcend mortality itself. But here's the question. Why would a man powerful enough to end 5 centuries of war and unite an entire nation believe in something as absurd as alchemy? Was he a fool? A man with no intelligence? That can't be right. This was the emperor who abolished the old noble class and built an entirely new system of government. He rewrote the laws. He unified the written language. He was, by every measure, one of the most brilliant rulers in human history. So his actions can only be explained in one way. He believed in science. To him, alchemy wasn't superstition. It was ancient chemistry. He thought that special metals, rare minerals, and precise control of heat and fire could be combined, calculated, and perfected to create a substance powerful enough to defeat death itself. In other words, he treated immortality like a chemical experiment, and he used himself as the test subject. He believed that the body of an emperor was strong enough to endure what ordinary men could not. It sounds insane now, but in a way, Qin Shi Huang was attempting the world's first project of human immortality. But his experiment failed. Modern scientists have analyzed the soil around the tomb of Qin Shi Huang and found mercury levels hundreds of times higher than normal. Ancient records say that inside his vast underground mausoleum, the emperor ordered rivers of liquid mercury to be poured through the chambers, flowing around his eternal throne. As if even in death, he intended to rule another empire, one that would last forever. In other words, he never gave up on immortality. He simply moved it underground, and that tomb, sealed for over 2,000 years, still lies untouched beneath the earth. No one dares to open it, because the air inside is said to be filled with mercury vapor, enough to kill anyone who gets too close. Some say the sudden death of Qin Shi Huang was heaven's punishment. But from another point of view, perhaps he really did succeed. He wanted to exist forever, and in a way, he does. His body, preserved by mercury, still rests within his unopened tomb. His name, after more than 2,000 years, is still spoken by millions. He didn't become a god, but he became something else, an emperor who would never be forgotten. It was a deeper kind of immortality, not the survival of the body, but the survival of memory. He wanted to conquer death, but in the end, death preserved him. Perhaps his wish was never mocked at all, because more than 2,000 years later, we still speak of him, study him, imagine him. That is history's cruelest and most romantic form of eternal life. In that moment, he truly achieved it. He made time bow to him. The tragedy of Qin Shi Huang is the reflection of human tragedy. We all fear death. We all long for eternity. He believed he could create the elixir of life, but instead, he created the deadliest poison. His empire has long turned to dust. Yet, his story still drifts through the wind of time. Perhaps immortality was never about living forever, but about being remembered forever. So what do you think? Was Qin Shi Huang a madman chasing an impossible dream, or the first man in history to attempt scientific immortality? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next mystery from history. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next story.